thank you and welcome to our webinar this morning, especially to all of our new users. I think there are definitely a lot of partners here today, but we also opened this session out to prospects. So hopefully you'll learn something new today. So I hope you've got a cup of tea and a notepad at your side. And Jane and I, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sally, I'm Head of Partnerships at MuchLoved, and I'm joined today by one of our fantastic account managers, Jane Russell, and we'll be taking you through all the different bits of MuchLoved, the products and functionality. So we're not really focusing on tribute pages, but the other bits and pieces that we offer as part of our partnership. So like I said, we'll keep an eye on the chat and we'll stop every now and again and have a quick look at that. So what are we going to be covering this morning? We are going to be looking at dedication pages, specifically at memory walls and how you can use those, and also how you can use dedication pages in all sorts of different other campaigns. We're going to have a look at event functionality and the benefit of having more events being set up on your tribute pages. We're going to have a look at GriefChat, which is an additional service for our Optimum partners. We're going to go through the reports and what's available through your partner area and the added benefits of that, which are alerts, customized references, and GDPR marketing opt-ins. And we'll also have a quick look at the charity support site. So to start with, I'm going to hand over to Jane, who's going to give us a bit more information about dedication pages.
Good morning, everyone. Lovely to see so many of you here. So I'm going to talk about MuchLoved dedication pages. So dedication pages are a digital community space where your supporters can come together and also continue to donate to your charities. So dedication pages are included in both Advantage and Optimum Partnership. Super quick and easy to set up. We've got two options. We've got a template page, which is completely free, or we have a bespoke page. So first of all, I'm going to focus on template pages. So these are free to use. You can easily set one up in your own partner area. Or if you need a hand, give your account manager a shout and they will help you. And also in our charity, on our charity support site, we've got a really useful video which will take you through how to set up the page. It literally takes a matter of minutes. They're really, really easy. They'll show your logo and a bit of information about the charity. So dedication pages can be used in so many ways. They can be used as memory pages, pet shows, a message of hope to say thank you, light up a life, Mother's Day, Father's Day. The list really is endless. You also need to bear in mind that with the dedication pages, both bespoke and template, the supporter is presented with your GDPR marketing ask. So the opt-in channels are email and post. Note that you can have a different ask for each campaign. So that means you can really tweak the wording to make it just right for the campaign that you're running. So for those of you that are creating a template page, you can check that you've got your GDPR and ask in place. Just have a look at the banner across the top and there's the word GDPR. If you click on that, the ask should drop down. And obviously, if it's not there, just create your ask and send it off to your account manager and we will add that to the system. So if we can go on to the next page, Sally. Okay, so with dedication pages, you've also got the option of presenting a photo consent ask. So hopefully you can see on the slide above, just above the little pink button, the ask is presented to the supporter asking for photo consent. To set this up, you just need to send the wording through to your MuchLoved account manager and they will add it and they will switch it on for you. So when would you use this? For example, if your charity is hosting a live Light Up a Life event and they want to show the dedications on a screen at the event, the photo consent can be presented to the supporters when they're adding their dedication. Also, another instance is RNLI have a fantastic dedication page One Moment, One Crew, which they used to celebrate their 200th anniversary, and they got everybody around the country to add a photo, and they had permission to use those photos in other promotional collateral. So it's definitely worth bearing in mind for future pages. So if we go on to the next slide, you can see that we've got lots of examples of the different templates we've got. We add to those templates regularly, but you can see here we've got pages for Mother's Day, we've got Christmas pages, we've got a place to remember, which I think is a really lovely idea, and also a digital book of remembrance. And then if we go on to our next slide, we've got examples of the more bespoke pages. So bespoke pages is when you, the charity, will provide your own banner image. So you'll send that to us along with the wording and we'll create the page for you. But as you can see on the examples here, the bespoke pages can have a lovely banner image, as can the template pages, and they can be used in exactly the same way. And if we go on to the next slide, a little bit more information about the bespoke pages. But before I do that, just out of interest, how many of our partners are making use of dedication pages, maybe as a memory wall or maybe in another way? It would be really interesting if you can just pop a thumbs up or something like that so we can see how many of you are using them. So a bespoke page is £130 plus VAT, takes about a week or two to set up, and you just need to send us in the artwork and we will create the page for you. Once a bespoke page is created, you can clone them and use them again. So you'll retain the banner image, but you can change the wording. So if you're going to run the same campaign the following year, you can clone the page and use it again. And do remember with the dedication pages, whether it's a template page or a bespoke page, each dedication page has its own unique QR code so that you can add that to any comms you're sending, and then people can easily point their phones at the QR code and it will take them directly to the dedication page. Dedication pages are included in your partnership, so why not make use of them? It's a really wonderful space to offer people where they can come, they can remember their loved one, and they can continue to support your charity. So now I'm going to hand you back to Sally, who's going to talk about events.
Brilliant, thank you, Jane. Oh, and before I click onto events, actually, so if you've got an offering on your website where you offer the supporters the opportunity to create a tribute and hopefully also a funeral collection page, same as a tribute but with funeral information on the front of it, then be sure to offer a dedication page as your third option. Not everybody wants to set up a tribute page, not everybody's ready to set up a tribute page, so the dedication page gives that as a memory wall, gives that third option, gives your supporters the opportunity to make a significant donation, add the name of the person it's in memory of, and then put their story and also upload their photo and be part of a sort of virtual community of people that are being remembered in that way. So one of the other areas that we wanted to talk about was events. And I don't know if you've heard us talking about referring to our service before as an open platform. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's a place where different fundraising from different platforms can be recorded, or mechanisms can be recorded in one place. So as an Optimum partner, you can record offline regular gifts via your partner area. So we don't have the facility to process those regular gifts at the moment. We will be able to at some point. That's in development. Yes, you can add in offline regular gifts at the moment, but there's also a fantastic way to connect fundraising efforts and record them within a tribute. Now, I wanted to give you an example here just to kind of bring to life the message I'm trying to give. So I've got a tribute for my dad, and I've got two brothers, and we all wanted to do different fundraising in his memory. Now, one of my brothers took part in the London Parks run and collected sponsorship through a Just Giving page. The other ran a quiz in a pub, and because he'd set up his fundraising page excuse me, directly via the tribute. Donations were collected via the tribute page and therefore processed by MuchLoved. And then my fundraising page was also an events page that I created through MuchLoved. Now, despite not all the fundraising having been collected and processed by MuchLoved, it's still displayed as a total on the page because we have a Just Giving API connection. So I knew exactly how much had been raised at any time in my dad's memory from my tribute page. Now, it may or may not surprise you to know, and I think we have mentioned this before, but tributes with at least one fundraising event will increase their income by 200%. So just a moment, consider what impact that would have on the income through your service if maybe, let's say, half of your tributes had events on them. So just some of the features. I've talked about the Just Giving API. What does that mean? Well, when your supporters click on add an event, they're presented with 3 options to add an event within a tribute. They can set up the event directly. They can link to a third party, maybe like a Facebook fundraising. We don't have an API connection with them, but it would just direct the supporter to that page to collect and process the donation. Or they can link an existing fundraising page that's been set up through Just Giving, and you put the Just Giving URL, it pulls it all through, it connects it together. The donations are still collected by Just Giving, but we record everything that's been collected via that page directly on the tribute. So the example I gave of my dad's tribute hopefully highlights how events within a tribute extends the reach. And all of a sudden, my tribute is being shared with 2 other networks of people who are interested in supporting other members of my family. So you can see how it increases the connection and the reach of the tribute page. So tribute pages can also, events within a tribute can also help to improve engagement with your other fundraising teams, because actually adding an event on a tribute, it's not a case of stealing revenue from other teams. I know, I'd be a fool to think that you don't all have sort of fundraising budgets, but by using our customized references, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the presentation, you can record income that's been collected through events, and then obviously you can allocate that back to a relevant team's budget, and you could soft credit into yours maybe. So turning things on their head a little, have you ever considered offering a tribute fund to an event participant? So if you know their reason for taking part in an event is in memory, then why not offer them that chance to have a tribute? Putting all of their fundraising in a tribute can be really motivational and can encourage more long-term engagement and also repeat events. Maybe that person, they have only considered running the marathon once, they've got the bug, they're thinking, actually, I'd like to do it in a different city next time, but I still want to fundraise in memory of my dad. And they will be able to see the fundraising that they've done add up and grow. And remember, your tribute fund holders and their networks don't have to be through fundraising. The events don't have to be fundraising. So that's also one of the unique aspects of our service. So your supporters can set up a commemorative event directly through their pages as well. So the last bit I've got to share with you on events is, and this functionality is available for our Optimum partners, there is the ability to preload your event. So if you're running a memorial walk, or if you're running a particularly running event and you want to promote it to everybody who's got a tribute page, and maybe that promotion is also part of your stewardship, you've got the ability to preload those events. So when the visitor goes to the tribute, and if you can see on the sort of the screenshot of the tribute on this page, so when your supporters go to their tribute page and click on events, they click on the first option, which is the event directly through the tribute, they'll get a subsequent option which will allow them to select one of your pre-loaded events. So full disclaimer, there's no registration facility through this, but obviously you would collect their contact details, so you'd then be able to get in touch with them for them to complete your registration form. So if you want to know more about this, then please do get in touch with either your account manager, or you can also get in touch directly through support@muchloved.com, and they'll forward your inquiry on to the relevant person. So the next thing I'm going to do is just move over to a test, a sort of demo partner area, so I can show you some of the functionality available in there, which I think, maybe people are not necessarily always taking full advantage of. Before I do that, Jane, is it worth having a quick look at any questions?
Kerry asked about adding the charity's own events, which you've just gone over. And also Pearl is asking about a recording of the event. I'm just popping an answer in the chat, but basically for partners, all our webinars are recorded and you can access them via your partner area, where you click on Manage Training and Support, where you'll go to our charity support site and you can find them all. For those that are not partners, please do get in touch with support@muchloved.com, and I'm sure we can help you with a recording of the session.
Okay, brilliant, great. So the next bit I'm going to talk about is I'm going to go to a demonstration partner area to show you some of the features available. So we're going to look at reports, we're going to touch on our reporting API, alerts, customized references, lighting candles, leaving virtual gifts, GDPR for tributes, because I know that Jane's already mentioned that for dedication pages, and then access to the additional resources that we offer. So just bear with me 1 second as I do a quick maneuver. So you should be able to see the ACSS demo partner area. This is our fake hospice charity. And from here, I'm going to show you different aspects of the service. In particular, I'm going to talk through the reports. Now, the reports are available to our Optimum and our Advantage partner, and the payment reports are available to all charities that we process donations for. So if you're here as a prospect, you will still have access to the payment report. And actually, there's a separate tab there, and you can access the reports from there as well. So the payment reports will outline all information about the donations that we've collected and processed, unless the donor has chosen to remain anonymous. Yeah, so you can download them from that. Quick click on the download button. We create the donation processing payment reports around the 15th of the month when we send over those donations. The donations, so all donations collected in May, for example, will be sent over around the 15th of June, and at the same time we'll create the payment report. If you want to receive an alert for when that payment report is ready, then you can just, once you've got access to the partner area, if you haven't got access to that, then give us a shout and we'll set that up. Once you've got access, you can just click on payment alert preferences and then set yourself up with an alert so that you never miss a payment report from us in the future. So going back to the reporting area, so as soon as you click on it, you can see that I'm looking at the overview, and this top section here, which is tributes created to date, is giving me a snapshot of the number of tributes that have been created. Now that square reports back on tributes created through your own service. The donations to date will report back on all tributes supporting you, so whether they've been created through your own partner area or whether they have been set up through MuchLoved and they're supporting you, or whether they've been created directly through one of our funeral director partners. And then the scheme overview will give you the number of tributes created by your scheme, and then also by MuchLoved, and by that we mean MuchLoved or through our funeral director partners, and then you can see a summary of the donations that have been collected. In the most active tributes column, that's reporting back again on your data. So tribute pages created through your own scheme, and the donation to month copies the square above and reports back on all donations collected. So that's that. And then there's a whole number of different reports. So I guess the main reports are the tribute report, the donor detail report, and the event report. Every single report that we offer follows the same date search facility. So you've got a number of shortcuts under select the date range. So you can quickly run a report on all the data from last month, or any other month or year to date. You can see all the other options, or you can pop your cursor into the date range and create your own bespoke date range. If you click on the download button, and then if you click on show, you can see all the fields that are available for you to download. So like I said, the tribute report gives you all information about the tribute, whether it's been created by a funeral director, through MuchLoved, or through your own service. All the information that we get, we will supply to you through the tribute report. And that also includes their GDPR marketing options as well, because we present those to anyone who's creating a tribute directly themselves. So that's not including pages created by funeral directors. So you can choose, as you've probably gathered, which fields that you want to select before you download, and then you'll get your report. Now, once you've done one of those downloads, you can then also choose to schedule that report for future. So you can either have it weekly, daily, weekly, or monthly, and then you can also choose to download those columns, those specific columns, to your account. They will be saved, and then you can choose to download those. So like I said, the tribute report is really vital. The donor report is key. This will give you information about all the donors, their GDPR marketing options, and all their contact details, unless they have chosen to remain anonymous. So again, similar idea, you can download all the information, you can choose which fields that you want to download, and then you can set up, schedule, and the date ranges follow the same format. For the events report, that will give you all the information about the person that's created the event, because they are likely to be different from the fund holder. In fact, if they are different from the fund holder, that's when it really helps to increase the community around the tribute page. So again, you've got a whole range of different fields that you can download about the event, and you'll see here, and you've probably noticed this popping up on some of the other report fields that I've shown you, is that you've got a couple of these event reference 2, 3, 4, and then there's also those are the customized references, which I'm going to come on to in a minute. So we'll also present the GDPR marketing ask to eventers, and that information will be captured in the event report. You've got a donation summary report that will give you a summary of all the donations collected to date from all of the tribute pages, supporting you in the date range that you select. And then you've got a couple of more different tribute reports, slightly unusual, I guess. And they report back on actually how your tribute pages are being used, and might be really useful if you're looking to approach a tribute fund holder for a case study. You can download these reports, same date range, very different fields, because actually it's reporting back on activity. So how many candles, how many virtual gifts, how much music's been uploaded, that kind of stuff. So you can run that report, and then you'll gather that kind of information. It's also maybe useful if you're running a stewardship selection of emails, and maybe you're encouraging people to interact with the page by lighting a candle or leaving a gift, or maybe you've uploaded a virtual gift for a specific time and you'd like to know roughly how much activity that has created. Then you can use that report for that kind of thing. So you've got one that reports back on tributes created through your own service, and then you've got another which reports back on tributes created through either MuchLoved or through our funeral directors. There's another very funky report, which is funds by referrer, and that reports back on which funeral directors are creating these tributes and their branches, and then how much they've raised. So if you're looking to interact with local funeral directors, or if you're a national charity and you're looking to interact with funeral directors that have families that have chosen to support you, you can run a report. You can see how much they've helped raise over a particular period of time, and maybe you've got the option to create a certificate as a thank you, or use it as a way to start engagement with that company. The user report will give you a great big list of all the users that have ever interacted with your service, and then the couple of other reports that I haven't specifically talked about are really to go alongside our API. So you might download or pull through information on a regular basis. So these reports, I should also say, report up until midnight the night before. So they're not exactly in real time. These additional reports, so tribute owners, refunded donations, offboarded tributes, work really well alongside the API and enable you to update any changes that our funeral directors have made, or if people have asked for refunds on their donations, or have changed their minds and decided not to support you anymore, which does happen occasionally. So that is our report. The other area I want to show you was under this Manage tab and was about alert preferences. So we touched on alerts specifically for payments, but we also offer a whole range of all sorts of other alerts for activity on the service. So whether there's been a new tribute created, whether somebody's reached a target, whether an event page has been set up, whether an event target has been reached, whether a blog has been updated. So there's a whole rafter of different events. So a bit of homework for you to do. Go in, I think Jane might be giving you some as well. Go in, have a look at your alerts, make sure that you've got them set up for the information that you need. If you do want to get your events team involved, then they can also have access to the partner area, and they can also receive alerts so that they can get involved as well. So the other bit under the Manage tab is customized references. So the customized references there's essentially 8 against a tribute, there's 4 for users and 4 against event pages. These have been updated, but you can see here you've got custom reference, a tribute reference 1 to 4 and fundraising reference 1 to 4. They all sit against tributes. You can rename them. So that's what this area is allowing you to do under the Manage tab and Customize Reference. It's allowing you to rename those customized reference fields. Why might you want to do that? Well, it may just make it a whole lot easier when you're importing the data from the reports that we give you into your database if you have matching fields in here that you do in your database. So once you've changed the reference fields names, well, how are you going to enter the data? So if you go back to the Tributes tab and All Tributes, and if you click on More Details and scroll down, you can then see that that's where you can add in the information. So maybe you want to pull across your unique reference code that you've got for that particular supporter. You can put it in here every time there's activity on that tribute, or every time a donation is made. That unique reference will pull across into the donor report. It will pull across into the tribute report, and it will also probably pull across into the events report. If you've got a code that you want to add in against an event, then you go to the Events tab, click on Tribute Event, and you click on More Details for the particular event, and then you can see here that you can add in those references there. What I didn't say at the beginning of this is that customized references are just available to our Optimum partners. So other bits and pieces in the partner area. I'm sure most people are pretty familiar with this, but if you click on More Details, you can also use the opportunity to light a candle on a tribute as part of your stewardship. So new tributes created, you've received your alert, you're thinking, right, well, I'm going to send a nice condolence message, but I can't do it today, but I'm just going to pop in and light a candle as my first point of contact with this tribute fund holder. So you can see one that I've put in there previously. If you just click on Add a Candle, you can then select the type of candle that you want to leave. So you've got ones that burn for a day, right through to ones that will burn for 100 years. I'm going to select the one that burns for a month. You can choose your background colour, and then you can pop in who it's sent from, and then you can pop in your message. But probably hopefully a better message than I've left. And and then you can select what date you would like that candle to view on. So you don't have to set it for today. I could choose for it to start to display in a couple of days' time. So you click continue, and then that's it. So we can see the one that we've left previously, and then we can see the one that we've left today. If you want to edit it, then yeah, no problem, you can do that. And you can also get rid of it if you decide to. So other ways that you can interact with the tribute in terms of stewardship are maybe leaving a virtual gift. So maybe just as a preference, you would prefer to leave a bunch of flowers on the tribute to give your message of condolence, or maybe, which we have in this case, you've got a folder of bespoke gifts. So for our Optimum partners, which this functionality is only available to, you can also have your own folder of bespoke gifts that can display for a particular amount of time or can continually display, and you could maybe leave one of those gifts on those pages as well alongside a message. And the same as the candles, you've got the option to kind of forward leave that gift. Now, Jane touched on, I haven't really got anything to show you about this in the partner area, but Jane touched on GDPR marketing ask for dedication pages. Because they're two sort of separate systems, we would upload your GDPR marketing ask for your tributes separately. And I should say, quite often charities partner with us, they give us our GDPR marketing ask, and then it doesn't really change for quite a long time. So if you want to update yours, if you're not sure what it's displaying, then do reach out to us, ask us. We'll let you know what's already there. If you're not getting very many opt-ins, then maybe it's time to change it. We'd be happy if you want to test something new for a month and see whether you get a better response. Yeah, just get in touch with us. It's pretty straightforward for us to update it, and there's no cost to you. So my final thing to show you in your partner area is this training and support tab. So quite a while ago, I think during COVID really, we created these support sites. It's full of really fantastic information and resources available to you. You can register for upcoming webinars through it, but also in these top 3 boxes, you've got the option, lots of sort of training videos. They're really short. Myself and the team have pulled them together, just giving you maybe a couple of minutes each, just giving you a kind of framework and an idea of, you know, basic things. Like maybe you want to create a tribute on behalf of a supporter and you can't remember how to do it. Quick video to remind you. So worth having a look at these 3 options, or at least, you know, if you're relatively new to the service, then have a look through, or if you're sharing it with a colleague, also have a look through and make yourself familiar with the other information that is available through your charity support site. So I'm just going to take us back to our presentation and ask Jane if there's any questions that we need to have a look at whilst I'm getting that ready.
Someone was asking about accessing the tribute pages. I was just going to explain that, and as I put in the chat, the partner area Sally was showing was an Optimum partner area. Optimum partners are able to access the back end of the tribute as such, but Advantage partners can also add light candles, add virtual gifts by visiting the tribute page and clicking on the contribute button. So they can also make use of that functionality. And Advantage partners can't schedule lighting a candle. When Advantage partners light a candle, it will be lit immediately. And
so you have to go to the tribute to do it.
Correct, that's correct. Bespoke pages are bespoke and they are charged whether you are an Optimum or an Advantage partner. But dedication pages are included in both partnerships. But for a bespoke page, there is a charge of £130, whether you're an Advantage partner or an Optimum partner. But both Advantage and Optimum partners can make use of bespoke dedication pages if they wish. And I think that's all the questions at the moment. So what I was going to do was talk to you a little bit about GriefChat. GriefChat is available to our Optimum partners only. It's included in the partnership at no additional cost. It provides you with up to 500 chats a year with a vetted and trained counsellor. And do bear in mind that a lot of people do find it easier to type than talk. So if you are an Optimum partner, why not make use of it? I don't know how many of our Optimum partners are here today. It'd be interesting to see who is using it. It's a fantastic thing to offer your supporters, another means of showing that you care about them and you're looking out for them. You can add GriefChat to as many pages on your website as you wish. It's a completely free counselling service that's always available to your supporters. So how to make use of it with regard to stewardship? Why not include it in your comms? Perhaps have a QR code that takes the supporter directly to the page that's hosting your GriefChat. Maybe put that QR code on the back of the condolence cards that you're sending out. Or you can choose, you can see on the screen here, to add it in the footer of all your in-mem comms emails. So definitely something to think about if you're not making use of it, because it is included in the Optimum partnership. And if we move on to the next slide, please, Sal. So how to present MuchLoved on your website. For Optimum partners, they have widgets, which is a little bit of coding that's embedded into your website, and we style that coding, the widget, to match the way your website looks. You can also, as an Optimum partner, choose to use a fully branded landing page, which again will show your logo, and it can have a secondary link to an about page which can contain more information about your charity. As for Optimum partners, they make use of links which they place beneath a word or button on their website. So, as Sally said, a little bit of homework. It's always worth checking that your links are correct and they're working, and your widgets as well. So for the Advantage partners, it's really important that you use the correct bespoke links. Now you'll know you've got your right link if you can see your logo in the top left-hand corner. The reason it's so important to use the correct links is, one, if you've got the correct link, the page will automatically fundraise for you. 2, it will be branded, so it's reinforcing your charity's identity. And 3, that means the supporter will be presented with your GDPR marketing ask when they are creating their page. So it is important to periodically check that. You know, if you update your website or anything like that, it's a good idea to double check the links are all the right links. Now, all our partners have 3 links. You have your create, your funeral create, and your search. So the create and the funeral create will result in exactly the same tribute, but when you use the funeral create, the supporter will be asked for the funeral details when creating the page. And Sally, can you see my page?
No, I can still see the
doing
slide.
Its thing. Hang on a moment. Why is it not doing its thing? Oh, we'll have a technical glitch for a moment.
Oh.
No, it's not.
Something's happening.
No, hang on a second. Sorry. Let's try again. No, it's definitely not happening. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to try again. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not, am I?
No.
Oh, dearie me. Okay, let's just try one more time. Okay. Is it going to work?
Hey, it's working.
You can see it. Brilliant. Okay, so this is a tribute which is supporting Bowel Cancer UK. Now you can also always tell where the tribute has been set up by what logo is showing down here. So in this instance, the supporter has used the funeral create to create the page, because as I said, they're asked for the funeral details in the creation process. So they can set up the page, they can easily share the URL with all their friends and family. So they're sharing the funeral details, also sharing the ability to collect the donations. And then after the funeral is finished, they're able to go into the settings and actually archive that information into the galleries so that they can continue to use the tribute page as a long-term digital memory space and can continue to collect donations for your charity, but they no longer have to see all that information about the funeral. So, you know, it is worth making use of that funeral create if you think you should. So it is there and is available for you. And I'm just going to stop sharing my page, which hopefully will be more seamless than it was previously. And then Sally can go on to the next page, which is a reminder of our next webinar. And I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear that we've got a couple of guest speakers for the next webinar, and it's taking place on the 3rd of July at 11 a.m. Where we've got some guest speakers from Devon Air Ambulance. They're going to share their story of connection and growth of their in memory. So I'm sure you'll all find it super interesting and useful to come along. I will endeavour to place the link for the registration in the chat so that you can make use of that now. And it's always worth registering for these webinars in advance, because then you'll get a reminder that they're happening, and they're always quite interesting sessions. So anyway, I hope this has proved to be useful. We might have a quick look at the questions and see if there's anything else we can answer. And I'll also try and pop that link in for the next webinar. Back to Sally.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. So
she's already done it.
Yes, I have done. Yeah. So let's just have a quick look at some of the questions. So no, we just offer one GDPR marketing statement. So it would be the same for donors and the same for tribute owners. There are a selection of virtual gifts already loaded on the tribute pages. So if you have a look at any MuchLoved tribute page, then you can see what those are. And we also load seasonal virtual gifts as well. So we've got Father's Day coming up. So there'll be a folder of Father's Day virtual gifts displaying on the tribute page as well. In fact, I think in your support site, there's a list of when we display virtual seasonal gifts on the tributes.
I'll try and put a link in, Sally.
Yeah, so in terms of lighting a candle on a year anniversary, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm not sure about linking the dedication page. Dedication pages and tributes are completely different, and they're separate services. I'm not sure that that would quite work, but if the supporter has put the date of death in when they're creating the tribute, then you would receive an alert 3 days before that happens. So you would have time to light the candle. Emma's asked about GriefChat and data. So that data, because GriefChat is a completely separate service to us, so GriefChat would be able to supply that data directly to you and how much your supporters are using it. I would say that it's definitely worth not just putting it on your website, but actually using it, like Jane suggested, putting a link to the page where you've got GriefChat in your stewardship email, actually, you know, communication or a QR code to that page if you're sending a written condolence card. You know, really making sure that you tell your supporters that that service is available to you. Lewis, in terms of the training that the counsellors receive, they are thoroughly vetted. Each counsellor holds a recent or clear DBS check and carries a minimum qualification of a level 4 counselling diploma with a minimum experience of 100 hours of practice. And many of them that GriefChat use have degree and postgrad qualifications in the area, and GriefChat also supply and to them their own bespoke bereavement training before they use any other counsellors. In terms of the costs, I'm not going to get into that here, Vicky, but do get in touch with us and we'll go through that directly with you. Yeah, we can share the slides with you. Oh yeah, so the alerts for anniversary are in the alerts. Yeah, so I think that covers everything. I hope everybody has found the session this morning useful. What I should have said before I'm just about to end, is if there's anything specific that you would like covered in future sessions, maybe particular areas of the service that you'd you'd like us to provide a little bit of training on, then please do reach out to us. You can send us an email at support@MuchLoved. They'll forward it on to us. Yeah, so we're always interested to know what you guys want to hear in these sessions. So if you've got any feedback, no worries if you don't want to put it on a chat, but if you want to email it over to us, then that's really useful for us to know, so that we know we're giving you what you like to learn about. Because I appreciate this morning we've probably slightly bombarded you with a huge amount of information, but just to say thank you very much for joining us this morning. I hope you've taken a couple of things away from it, and looking forward to seeing all those event pages being created on your tribute pages. So have a fabulous day and thank you.